Okay, so we talked about the size of the text. We talked about the kerning and the tracking. Now if I go up here, I have the distance between different lines. That's why I have different lines here. Alright? The distance between lines is called what? Bravo. It's called leading. Right? So if I go here, for example, and increase that distance, alright, nothing would happen because I have to select the line underneath so that I would have the change apply. If I wanted to apply the same distance to all the lines, I would select the actual object by itself and I type in the value. Alright. And then here we have the stretching of the text horizontally, which is not something recommended, but in case you wanted to do it, you can do it from here, but that's not recommended. Also you have the stretching vertically from there. Alright? And then you have the superscript. For example, if I selected the 3 and I went up, that's actually called the baseline shift. I'd be moving that selection up or down. Alright, so that's called the baseline shift, which is shifting a letter or a word up or down. And from here, we can rotate the individual letters. Alright, so if I rotate 30 degrees, they rotate like that, and so forth. I can underline, I can strike through my text. Alright, so having done this now, I would like to actually do something to the letter P that I have here. I would like to extend the vertical part, but I can't, because if I go and stretch from here, the whole letter will stretch. I just want to extend this part down. Let's see how we can do something like this. One way to do it is to create a rectangle, but I want the rectangle to be aligned perfectly to the edges of the letter. So for that, I will go to view and I want to snap. Here I have snap to grid and snap to point. Let's see if we can actually snap to the point. If we create something like this, that's a point here. If I try to go there, it doesn't really snap because I don't really have a point here. That's a text object. Instead, I want to convert it to points. When I convert it to points, I can no longer change the text from P to V, for example, because it will no longer be a text object. But then I can do more stuff to the object. So once I'm happy with the form of the text, I can right click and choose create outlines like this. So now when I did create outlines, I have points. So if I wanted to snap to these points, I can actually do that. So if I went like this and I grabbed, I can actually snap to the points. Now if I go to view, I have something called smart guides. The smart guides are important because I can grab and directly I would get a snap. Let's do it from here. Let's go like that. If I go over this up and down, then I can actually snap to the path. So now I have a perfect alignment between the two. And I can go from here and drag this down, for example, and there you go. I have the P longer. It works, but that's not the preferable way because I still have two objects. The better way is to actually go to the direct selection tool, select these points, and just put them in place. And don't forget that you can use the smart guides from here. So if I drag a guide like this, and I can go down, then I can grab the points and snap them into place. So what I did to constrain the motion to a vertical was to drag a guide from here. Alright, so that's the P. I want to create another P from the other side that's mirrored, and then I want to create a connection between the two. So to create another P, I'll press Alt, Shift, and move. But how do I flip it to the other side? One way to do it is to go like this. But that way I won't get a precise flipping. There are many ways to flip it. Let's see. If we click on Transform, I have the width, which is set to 1.7725 centimeters. Actually, to flip it, if I go to Window and Transform, I'm going to right click and choose the units in actually I'm going to keep the units the way they are, but you can change them by right clicking on the ruler. Alright, so if I selected, I can't really add a minus. If I could add a minus, it would flip to the other side. So that's not really the way to do it, adding a minus sign. The way to flip it to the other side is to go to the Rotate tool and click on the Reflect tool. Alright, I specify the center and I'll press Shift and reflect it like this. So now I have these two, and I would like to create a circular connection between the two and have all this as one object. And we're gonna do this in the next video.